The British East India Company, BEIC, was one of the most influential trading organizations in history, shaping not only British colonial expansion but also profoundly impacting the economic, political, and social landscapes of South Asia and beyond. Founded in 1600, the company's history is a complex tapestry of commerce, conflict, diplomacy, and imperialism that spanned over 2 centuries until its dissolution in 1874. This essay will explore the history of the British East India Company, examining its origins, growth, impact on India, and its legacy. Origins and establishment. The British East India Company was established in 1600 by a group of London merchants who were granted a royal charter by Queen Elizabeth I to trade in the East Indies. The initial aim of the company was to compete with Portuguese and Dutch traders in the lucrative spice trade of Southeast Asia. The first voyages were fraught with challenges, including competition from established European powers and the dangers of navigating uncharted waters. Early expansion and trade dominance. Despite initial setbacks, the BEIC gradually expanded its operations, establishing trading posts and factories in key locations such as Surat, Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta. These outposts served as hubs for the exchange of goods, primarily spices, textiles, and later, opium. The company's success in trade was bolstered by its ability to negotiate favorable agreements with local rulers and navigate complex political landscapes. Transition to political power. The transformation of the BEIC from a trading entity to a political power began in earnest during the early 18th century. The company's presence in India became more entrenched as it engaged in territorial conquests and alliances with Indian rulers. Battle of Plassey in 1757, where Robert Clive's forces secured a decisive victory over the Nawab of Bengal, marked a turning point. This victory allowed the company to establish control over Bengal, a region rich in resources and revenue. Consolidation and expansion of territory. Following Plassey, the BEIC continued to expand its territorial holdings through a combination of military prowess and alliances with local princes. The company's rule was characterized by a policy of indirect rule, whereby local rulers were allowed to govern under the company's oversight. This strategy helped to minimize administrative costs while maximizing profits from taxation and trade. Economic exploitation and impact on India. The economic impact of the BEIC's activities in India was profound but controversial. While the company facilitated the growth of trade and commerce, particularly in textiles and opium, it also exploited local resources and industries. The imposition of monopolies and high taxation led to economic hardship for many Indians, contributing to famines and social unrest. Political influence and diplomacy. The BEIC's political influence extended beyond its territorial holdings. The company played a pivotal role in shaping Indian politics through alliances, treaties, and manipulation of local rivalries. British residency and advisory positions were established at many courts, influencing decisions on matters of governance and succession. Rise of British dominion. By the early 19th century, the BEIC had become the dominant power in India, eclipsing other European trading companies and indigenous powers. The British Crown, alarmed by the company's growing influence and concerned with governance issues, enacted a series of acts known as the Regulating Acts, 1773-1784, to assert control over the company's affairs and administration. The company's decline and legacy. The decline of the BEIC began in the mid-19th century, precipitated by a series of crises including the Indian Mutiny, 1857–1858, which exposed the company's vulnerabilities and mismanagement. In 1858, the British government took direct control of India through the Government of India Act, effectively nationalizing the company's assets and territories. The legacy of the British East India Company is complex and enduring. On one hand, the company laid the foundations for British imperial rule in India, establishing administrative structures and infrastructure that facilitated subsequent British governance. On the other hand, its exploitation of Indian resources, economic policies, and social impact left a lasting legacy of resentment and socio-economic disparities. In conclusion, the history of the British East India Company is a testament to the intertwining of commerce, politics, and imperialism. From its humble beginnings as a trading venture to its transformation into a political and economic powerhouse, the BEIC shaped the destinies of nations and left an indelible mark on the history of South Asia and the world.